Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one, the only, 6th generation Portlander, Geoffrey James Neill.
Take a number. I was lightning before the thunder.
Hello and welcome. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm here to tell you some things. I ran out of coffee. And I kept forgetting to get it at the grocery. But I'm innovative. Empty cupboard, I'll just heat up some old grounds. Empty cupboard, I'll have tea. Right? Every morning it was like a new exploration of disappointment. And when you are out of coffee, you relish, like, even coffee that is terrible. Like, I went to my daughter's school and I'm like, yes! Public coffee! It's like watered down Folgers. And I'll have 2 cups. I went to a funeral and the church had public coffee. And it wasn't like it was strong, it just had other plans. Because the coffee's like, all right, once we're out of the cup, just leap towards the uvula. And we'll just hang out there and make bad breath for the next 6 hours. I'm sorry for your loss. I used to be a pastor of a church, and now people ask me sometimes to do funerals, which I've never had to do an easy funeral. Like, an easy funeral is like somebody who dies of old age that wasn't a bitch. Like, I get the hard cases. Like, I get the dead grandma who excommunicated her gay daughter, and, like, she's the one paying the money. And, yeah, it's hard for me to say, like, and everyone will miss her face. Because not everyone's gonna miss her judgy little face. But, I feel that funerals is so complex emotionally. Like, because, you're supposed to be sad, strong, maybe think about God, but I think everybody's just there, pissed, like angry. Like, but don't show it. Don't show it. Just eat the little bananas and cheese to help with that anger constipation. Because all we want to do is rage against death. War against death. Because, like, somebody with cancer, we're fighting cancer. Or we hope he wins the battle. But, like, there's such a difficult thing that we're dealing with here that I'm thinking, like, that'd be hard to be the Grim Reaper. Like, it's hard. Like, think all the angels, they're given praise and, like, maybe welcoming the baby Jesus, and then one angel gets death. Like, you think you would have a bad, like, job, try death as a career. Just, I just wonder, like, it's 24/7, 7 days a week, 3 times a second. No wonder he's dressing all gothy. Just like, I wonder if, like, death is like, I wonder if there's, like, is it just for humans, or is there, like, death for trees? Like, I'll give him a little oak wilt. Is that where he got the scythe, that, like, reaping sword? I don't know. I just what did he use before we were in an agrarian society? when we were like hunter-gatherers, did he have a basket? I just wonder, like, now that we're in the information age, industrial information age, like, does he just have a computerized processing death plant, just like the Foster Farms of the soul. So I went to college in Malibu, California, which is the capital of like eating disorders. I was, and I was the Oregonian, getting his PE credit, I was a transfer student, which meant I was the pasty one without the abs. And so we were like, I was getting my exercise on in gym class, and we were doing the course, where you run a lap, then do a push-up, run a lap, do sit-up, just all the terrible things that you do to get fit. And so I'm on my jumping jacks, right? And I'm like doing my thing, and a guy comes up and he's like, Geoff, you have a huge hole in your shorts. And I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, you can't see it because it drapes nicely. But like when you do the jumping jack or do the stretches, it's like a huge peekaboo. And I'm like, a gasp, And so I'm embarrassed. But I've also been there 20 minutes, which means I'm like trying to figure out, I want to get credit. I want to get credit for the class. And so I'm thinking, well, they've seen 20 minutes of my butt. Can they handle another 10 minutes? And I go for it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to run, me and my hole will run another lap. We'll go another 10 minutes. And I'm embarrassed. I'm running next to this guy who's like perfect. And I'm running, and I want to be cool. I'm a transfer student. I want new friends. And I'm like, I'm nervous. And so I'm like, I figure vulnerability is like the best like embarrassment mitigation, because it like just gets it right out there. So I'm like, I guess I just found out that I have a huge hole in my shorts. Apparently it drapes nicely. And he looks at Abs, looks at me, and he's like, you didn't know? Like I would know. Like I was like donning my next like athletic peekaboo wear. Like I was like, I need to get in front of the class and show them my downward dog so that they can see how well I do laundry. Ridiculous, him asking if I knew. I tell him, of course I didn't know. Why would you ask that? He's like, well, it's been that way for the last 3 weeks. Gasp. So I've been getting a little bit older, and I moved my back, and it started creaking. And I was like right now my body is like creating new ways to make noises. And like Crystal was telling me, why does your back sound like a haunted attic? Yes. So she ends up getting me a massage, and my heart rate starts racing because I have massage performance anxiety. Because it's not because of like sexy things, because we don't live in Bangkok. But I'm going to be in my underwear, and they're going to be touching me, and like I want this to be a good experience for everyone. So I'm thinking maybe I need a loofah. And it like crosses my mind, I'm like, do I shave my body? I didn't. Mainly because I was worried I'd miss a patch, and that like the therapist would be trying to figure out, what is this weird back hair design? Like a lightning bolt? So I'm waiting in line, or not in line, I'm waiting for my massage, and they give me peach tea, which is wonderful, because I had forgotten to brush my teeth. And I had stir fry, and I was like, I thought I would make an amazing sauce with this, I had the ramen powder, and instead just burnt the hell out of the powder. And so my mouth tasted like, burnt soup, which I know you can't burn soup because it's soup, but that's what it smelled like. And now it had a peach tint. So we go in to the the room, and I get the consultation, and I say, my back is creaky like a rocking chair, and now I say something very strange. I say, and maybe do something spiritual. When that came out, it didn't really feel right. I said it mainly because I had somebody who had an amazing spiritual experience with a massage, and I thought it would be like an amazing add-on, like a Jamba booster. And so she says she doesn't do that kind of thing. I'm like, that's okay, because that was the weirdest request I've ever given. And so I slip between the sheets, and she's like, are you comfortable? And I'm like, and I'm closing my eyes, I'm getting rubbed, and she starts apologizing because, she got trained in Oklahoma, and they didn't have a lot of spiritual training there. And I'm like, that's okay, I told you that was okay. But I was like, that's weird, because I thought all Reiki masters came out of Oklahoma. And she didn't think that was that funny. So, I'm closing my eyes, I'm getting rubbed, and I guess we're chit-chatting about Oklahoma. And I start to suppress something within me. I'm like, oh, what's going on? And it's called inquisitiveness. I'm like, and then finally it bursts forth, and I'm like, Oklahoma, what brought you to Portland? And when that came out of my mouth, I realized that this wasn't a massage to enjoy. And so she's like, well, I actually live in Longview, and I live with my ex-husband, and we're going through a divorce because of emotional abuse. And again, I'm getting rubbed, my scapula is getting stretched, and then it comes forward, you live with your your ex-husband? I just want it to stop. And she's like, no, we are there with our 2 kids, and I'm trying to get away from him because of emotional abuse, and could you turn over because it's time to rub your back? And so then I turn over, and apparently he's actually trying to get the kids from her, and with the courts, and all of this happens. And because she went to the hospital twice for some sort, for suicide, and I'm like, and it's just here, it's here, and I'm through my little Pico hole thing, and I'm like, finally, I just need to counsel. So I'm like, well, you have rights as a mother. And that, does the court know that you have a restraining order against him? And will you make sure to get that knot back there? Only me. Only me. Everybody else would have the self-esteem to say, zip it. Zip. Pipe down and rub. Like, but I'm just thinking, oh, she's going through a divorce. She had to commute from Longview, and if I like am in the least bit rude, I'm gonna get a finger in my spiritual experience. So this is how it goes for the next like 50 minutes, and then it gets awkward. Because I'm like giving her encouragement through my whole, I'm like, well, you're a good mother and you'll figure it out, especially for your kids. And then silence. Like crickets. And maybe a little music from Enya. And I'm like, what? Why is it so quiet? What did I say? You know, and nothing is worse than wanting a conversation to be over and then it is. Like what? And it goes, and for 10 minutes it's just quiet and my mind is just racing. And I'm like, oh no. And then finally she's like, all right, your hour's over. And I'm like, you know, I'm like just through my hole, I'm like trying to figure out what I was like, so was this the weirdest massage you've ever given? And she's like, yeah. It's your fault! It's your fault! It's my fault! So I gave her a great tip. All right, you guys have fun today?